Lately, I've had a lot of anxiety about the fact that I don't have a very consistent social media posting schedule, which is more of anxiety because it's part of my business in the sense that I'm an attorney, which, a little intro, my name is Sasha Struthers. I'm an attorney in Los Angeles, and I use social media, mostly YouTube, to do videos that I think are ideally helpful for people who are in real estate. I deal with a lot of real estate as an attorney. I wanted to kind of do this video. I don't know if it's gonna be helpful for anybody, but it's definitely really a struggle to have a small business and to also do your social media and then be able to balance the time it takes to do it, the cost of potentially outsourcing it versus you doing it yourself, which is the struggle that every small business owner has. And then just like the motivation or drive behind doing a lot of social media. To kind of give a backstory on how or why I have even a YouTube channel, which I don't know if you can call it that. I think I have less than, at the time I'm doing this, I have less than 50 videos up. But that's kind of a testament to what happens when you're inconsistent. In 2019, I went full-time in my own law practice, and I was also helping manage some buildings in LA. I made a website by myself, which the website I have, I did myself. Could be way better. Don't critique it. I mean, you can, but like, I'm not asking for it. And in 2020, I started doing YouTube videos, and I just did them on my phone, very casually. And then I started kind of looking into other YouTube channels and, ones that I liked, I watched and I thought were really good and I kind of wanted to emulate. And then I hit this wall where I was like, whoa, my videos don't look like that. And then you would see like social media, and it's like people make videos that seem very simple, and I just like couldn't wrap my head around doing that. So then you have to sit down and plan it, and I really, really struggled with being consistent about that. So now fast forward to today, surprisingly, a lot of my business comes from referrals from existing clients, referrals from other attorneys, referrals from other professionals, and then people who have found me from YouTube and have seen my website. Over the past couple of years, it's been slightly chaotic in a good and slightly chaotic in a bad way. I was doing a lot of different types of things within the area of law that I practice in, which is landlord-tenant. But then during the course of doing different kind of things that pertain to it, I realized some things I really didn't like doing, other things I preferred, and that it was really, really hard to find help ongoing that would show up consistently to do the work or, just really wanted to do it. So I ended up really downsizing in the types of cases that I took. So now I'm very specific in the type of work that I take because it's work that I know I can much easier systemize, but it's work that I like doing. In the pursuit of that, it was also with the idea in mind that I would be able to have a little bit more time to focus on doing a lot more helpful content. So I have it where I can kind of, I have the time, I have the time to do it. I can make the time, but I've been beating myself up lately a lot about like, why don't you make the time? And I will fill my time with other work that needs to get done, but doesn't need to get immediately done, but I'll busy myself with it as some form or way of like avoiding doing the video because I just have this anxiety that like I'm not as good as everybody else, or maybe the ideas that I have or the videos I want to do or the topics that I think people find helpful might be like super obvious to someone or not helpful or maybe redundant of someone who has maybe possibly said it better. So I start to really, really overthink it. One of the things that I've done is I have outsourced my video editing. I really have no desire to edit a video. It's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I look forward to doing or something I have any interest in doing. So I have a great editor. Shout out CJ. He has a good team and, they get it done and they're pretty receptive to feedback. So that's been very helpful. But that being said, I have to hold myself accountable. As much as I've read a lot of books about productivity or how to be resourceful within your own business and scale it and all this stuff, it's like it's easy to kind of somewhat explain it, but it's hard to internalize and then apply it to yourself. Because I can see how everyone else could do it, but then I struggle with, okay, well, how do I do it? And what it came down to was just irrational fear of starting. And I had done it before in 2020 and I had no expectations of anything. And I think that's where I really derailed myself, was I have now like way too high expectations of myself. I'm being a perfectionist and not getting anything done. So I'm failing to launch in that sense. But there's a few things that, like 3 main things that I've realized for a business, if you're a small business. What really, really helps if you're someone who's going into social media, for themselves, or someone who's a business and they use social media as a means to market their business. There's 3 things, and I'm going to go into each one of them. And I feel will be useful for me to implement that will help me kind of get over this anxiety and to get myself back on track for what I want to do, which is to post content that's helpful more consistently. The first thing is daily time blocking. I know, and a lot of people talk about it on YouTube. I think Daniel Coe talks about it. I know Ali Abdaal talks about time blocking, but it's this designated time uninterrupted that you write. This is also a huge concept in deep work, Cal Newport's Deep Work book, which I have read and I probably should reread and maybe revisit. Taking the time, and for me, probably the first part of the day where you dedicate to writing, some sort of article. Like I'm starting to post articles on LinkedIn, writing a video script, doing research for a video, having that designated time first thing in the morning, so you have no excuses like, oh, I'm tired, or like my brain hurts, which happens as an attorney. My brain hurts because my whole job is to think all day long and strategize and problem solve on the fly. You get tired of thinking all day, but first thing in the morning, you kind of have no excuse. To me, 2 hours a day is possible. For someone, that might not be feasible. I'm very fortunate that I set my own schedule because I'm self-employed. So I can tell myself 2 hours and I don't have to, get approval for anyone. So that is also something that I'm going to implement. I'm going to bring out my little planner. So this is my planner I got at Target, but in it I don't know when this video is going to go up. We'll talk about why I don't know when it's going to go up in my next tip. But in here, I wrote out kind of what I wanted done each day. I'm going to hide this because stuff I have to do for clients. But in here, you can kind of see the little sections of things that I have to get done. So I started with writing 2 hours a day, then something simple because I feel like I'm getting old, stretching every day because now that I'm 31, I feel like I'm old. Which 31 is not old, but I'm just like really critical. And then reading 20 minutes a day because I do read a lot of stuff for work, but something outside of law might be helpful or nice to read, and just do it consistently. 20 minutes I feel like is manageable. So those are the 3 things. I put them in there. I put them in the checkbox side, so things that I can check off every day, like these are things I have to do. So that has helped me, or I think will help me, keep track of that and see it in the planner every day. The next thing that I find is very helpful is bulk filming. I end up running into this. I write scripts very last minute. I have to get videos done, and then I spend 2 whole days of my life working on it and then getting tired and then burning myself out and then working on it again. So bulk filming is very helpful. And part of the first one, which is doing the writing every day, is if you're doing writing every day, then when it comes to the next round of bulk filming, the script's already done because you've been working on the writing. Then it also gives me time to do more research, really hone down the script. A lot of my videos, if you can't tell, I kind of just do on the fly. I do them on the fly because they're more organic for me. I'm not going to read a script. That's not going to change. But just having more fleshed out topics or elements of some sort of video. You can do that if you're writing every day and you're spacing it out rather than, okay, I have to spend the next hour, 8 hours of my Saturday, like I did today, writing all this stuff and doing all this research. So then I can bulk film, and then I can get the videos to my editor. Editor can turn them around much faster, and then I have content for the next month done because I filmed the 4 videos, and then from there they get cut into some shorts. If you're someone who has a small business and you do YouTube, and even if you don't have an editor, those 2 things of just setting the time every day, 2 hours is very ambitious, but it's probably what it's going to take at minimum to focus on it. And then bulk filming, that definitely helps you. With bulk filming, you can schedule a lot of things. Like YouTube, you can upload a video and schedule it. TikTok, I think you can schedule. I can't remember. Instagram, you can schedule things. LinkedIn, you can schedule posts. So all of those things, you can bulk upload and then do it and then schedule it. So then it's done. So maybe you take a few few hours one day and you set this all up, and then you're having the postings done and you're not worrying about it. So that's something that I'm going to start doing because it will give me drastically less anxiety. And the last thing that I've done, which a few months ago I decided I'm just going to do a newsletter every Sunday. And I had done a newsletter, have some emails that I've amassed over the years, but I would sporadically send newsletters. I wasn't sending them consistently. And then a few months ago I go, I'm just going to send newsletters every Sunday. And I have been very good about that. I've sent newsletters every Sunday. During the week, I gather usually news articles from what's going on in California or Los Angeles, or sometimes the country related to real estate. And then I will, link the video that came out that week that I posted. I'll link that. Or maybe I'll link an article that I wrote on LinkedIn and posted. So I'll post all those things. So there's things that people want to read, but there's a million different channels to find them. They can find them there. And then I will sometimes write within, the newsletter, things that I, from a business perspective or like a human being, like just, everyday person perspective, kind of my thoughts and tidbits that I feel will be helpful for other people to see. I recommend books and then reasons kind of why that book has helped me. And I feel like people have been very, very receptive to that. I didn't think people would like it so much, but I've had a lot of positive feedback for my newsletter, which if you want to sign up for it, there'll be a link below. You can sign up for it and it's free, which is great. So those are things. And also, again, if you have like a business, all three of those things, even the newsletter, all that stuff helps because I've seen, I have at the bottom of my newsletter, I talk about the kind of cases that I take on. I have a link to my website. And from there, I can see where people are clicking, and I see that people from the newsletter are inquiring with my office about, potential cases and things like that. So it has generated some business, and it takes time to amass it, but I have it where people can sign up for the newsletter, they can find it. And I do get, one or so people a week that sign up for the newsletter. So to me, that's kind of a success. So I hope those are helpful. If you feel like you struggle with it, social media does not come naturally to me. I do not have a feel for it. So I have to work a lot harder at it. I'm not very good with keeping up with trends. I'm not consistent about posting. I don't feel like I have things to say that people would necessarily care about hearing. But it is one of those things that I've overcome a lot of my insecurities about that and posted things more often. And for the most part, I do get people that go, hey, this is really helpful. Like, thanks for posting this. Or it has generated business. So there's definitely a lot of value to it, but you should admittedly pay a little bit more attention to your social media and schedule it so that it doesn't stress you out so much. It's okay if you can't have anyone edit your videos or you don't have anyone to help you. Just do it and post it and make the time to get better at all the time. Set the time aside to work on it, and it will definitely pay off for you. It's paid off for me. It's paid off for a lot of people. So I hope that has been helpful, or that you somewhat relate to it and feel slightly less bad that your social media is inconsistent. And thanks for checking out the video. If it was helpful, you can like it. You can also subscribe to the channel and make me feel great. Thanks.